Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? My nickname is Antari, and my job is to entertain you with another epic Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today my opponent is a guy called TheCiel. I hope it goes like that. From the TPX chat, that's the place where I found him, and he's also on YouTube, so I leave all the links in the description, check it out. And yeah, I guess that's all what I want to say here. Let's watch. Despite the fact we decided to do a standard, I bring in my old team which I was featuring in a previous battle, which contains some Arius and Yuyus, and the two Oyus. So anyways, I lead my team with Espeon. He leads off with Deox Speed Form, because I know that he can't set up spikes or some other entry hazards like Stealth Rocks because of the magic bounce. I decided to go over Signal Beam for a super effective move, and also I'm Scarfed, so I'll definitely outspeed him. But he decided to take a switch into his Crafty, predicting my Psychic or something like that. And I take a switch into my Bones because I know that all stab moves of Scrafty like Crunch or Drain Punch are resisted or still neutral to my Mandibuzz, so it's a good counter, I guess. So I decide to go for Toxic, hoping that he isn't carrying this Shed Skin ability. I hope that he was carrying Moxie. And at this point I'm assuming that he's carrying Moxie, so I decided to go for Whirlwind just to prevent him from setting up some more bulk ups. And Whirlwind brings out his Mance, so I was like, okay, right now he'll probably go for this Draco Meteor, so I stay in, and this turns out to be a perfect prediction of mine, because I go for a Roost just to regain all this HP which I lose thanks to the Draco Meteor. And now he's at -2, so I can easily go for Toxic or Whirlwind just to confuse him a bit, because he wants probably to take a switch. I can see that he's Life Orb, so this is probably his Mixmans. He decided to take a switch into his Rotom Wash form, so I went for a Whirlwind just to confuse him a bit, and Whirlwind bringing his Scrafty again, which now is poisoned thanks to my Bones. So after that I decided to go for a Brave Bird, because in the previous turn he decided to go for the bulk up, so now probably he wants to deal to me as much damage as I can, predicting my Whirlwind coming. And I was right, he goes for Drain Punch. This will heal him up a bit, but the poison will still give him some significant damage each turn. So after that my Bones is looking kind of good. I decided to go for Roost anyway, because I want to be at full health, and I was predicting his switch or something like that, I'm not quite sure. He goes for a Bulk Up, which isn't that great for me, because his Drain Punch will do more damage than it did the previous turn. So right now he's at +1 attack and a +1 defense. And next turn he went for a Drain Punch, which will do some nice chunk of damage to my Bones. But still, I went for a Whirlwind. I guess he was predicting that I'll go for this move, so he goes straight into the offensive. And Whirlwind brings out Mance again. So here I was kind of afraid of Brick Break coming, because you know, if it's a mixed Mance, it will contain this move, and this will obviously one-hit kill my Bones. So, but I decided to stay in either way, predict that he will predict my switch into some walls like Deoxys Defense form, and I was right. He goes for Draco Meteor, so right now he's at -2, and I roost all this damage with my roost. So after that I decided to predict his Brick Break coming this turn, and I was right. So there was like perfect pie plate of mine, because I take a switch to my Deoxys form just to absorb this damage, and yeah, you saw right, that was a crit. That was a crit Brick Break. Did absolutely nothing. So after that he decided to take a switch with his Mance, because there's really no point in staying in. I set up my rocks, because when Mance is around it's good to have them on the field, and it will deal him some free damage every time he enters the field. So he brings in his Rotom Wash form, and I was predicting some sort of special type attacking move, so I take a switch into my Mandibuzz. He went for a Trick, which is like good part play of his, because he locked my Mandibuzz with using Choice Scarf, and that's kind of bad. Predicting a Volt Switch, I decided to bring in my other M again, just to you know, get something paralyzed with T-Wave or something like that. He brings in his Crafty again, which is, you know, a wise choice. But either way I can go for a Taunt just to prevent him from setting up some bulk ups. And yeah, at this point I'm not quite sure if he's Moxie or Shed Skin, so I decided to assume that he's, you know, Moxie, and I go for a Taunt just to prevent him from using that, and it turns out that he's actually Shed Skin this turn. So I was just face palming myself, because I lost all those turns into trying to Toxic this thing just to weather it down as low as I can. But oh well. So I went for a T-Wave just to get this thing paralyzed in order to outspeed him and taunt him if taunts were off. And he went for a Crunch, which will do some nice chunk of damage to my other M. but now he's paralyzed, so I can easily get all of my HP back with recover. So at this amount of HP I decided to take a switch because I'm feeling quite confident here. Shedskin will again heal this crafty status problem, which isn't that great, and now the taunt wears off. So I decided to predict that he'll go for bulk up or something like that. So I take a switch to my Dragonite. He went actually for a crunch just to break up my multi-scale ability, which isn't that great, but oh well. So I know that both of his stab attacks won't do that much to my Dragonite, so I decided to go for D-Dance just to build up my attack and speed stats. He decided to take a switch into his Dusclops, which is, you know, kind of bulky in terms of defense and special defense because this is his Eviolite Dusclops. So I went for Draco Meteor because I thought that those Dusclops are more physically bulky than special. But, you know, Dragonite in terms of special attack isn't that great, so Draco Meteor won't do that much, and he's able to pull off a Will-O-Wisp, which will kind of cripple my Dragonite, not to mention next turn he's able to pull off a Pain Split, which will give him some HP back. So after that he went for this Shadow Sneak, which fortunately for me not kill my Dragonite. I'm able to pull off a Dragon Claw, which will leave this Dusclops a tiny amount of HP, so I can easily bring in some fast Pokemon just to revenge kill it. So I decided to bring in my Espeon because it's carved and Signal Beam is kind of safe. So I went for it. I know that his Shadow Sneak won't one-hit kill my Espeon, so I was kind of safe here. And after that he decided to bring in his Crafty. He knows that he can take probably all my Espeon can throw at him, so I decided to take a switch into my Bones because it's a wise choice, I guess. He can't really do that much to me with his crunches. So after that I take a switch into Espeon, predicting that he won't go for a crunch this turn, seeing that it do absolutely nothing to my Mandibuzz, and I was right. My Espeon take those fighting attack like a absolutely monster, and after that I can go for a trick. I guess he wasn't predicting that because he stays in, so now his Crafty is completely screwed, and because it's locked into using crunch, and I can easily go for my Magneton just to fully set up on him. So he went for this crunch just to finish off my Espeon, and after that I decided to bring in Magnetov, knowing that he'll probably take a switch, seeing that his crunch won't do anything to my Magnetov. So I set up my substitute for free, and this is kind of good position for me because I can go for a T-Ball just to kill off this Rotom Wash form. So we went for this hidden power fighting, I guess, which breaks up my sub. And thanks to the analytic, if I attack second, all of my moves got 30% boost. So my Thunderbolt is kind of powerful, not to mention it's stabbed and stuff. So I decided to set up a substitute for free, hoping that he will get a Power Hacks, and fortunately for me he ends up getting it first turn, which kind of sucks, but as for me it's just speed up the process because, you know, I can easily one-hit KO it at this point with my Thunderbolt. So I go for it, and there's a dead Rotom Wash form. At this point I'm in a good position because I got my sub on the wings, and I can easily, you know, just deal some free damage to his incoming target. So he decided to bring in his Mance and go for Roost, which is, you know, kind of good because he's faster, so he will lose its flying typing, and my Thunderbolt won't do to him that much. So I went for a Thunderbolt, and he ends up getting a Power Hack, so I'm extremely lucky here, I need to say. And right now I can go for Reflect just to make sure that his Brick Break won't do that much to my Magneton, but he reveals me that he's carrying a Fire Blast, so yeah, that kind of sucks. It will break up my sub, but I'm not too afraid of this because I'm still faster, so I can go for a substitute to set it up, hoping that he will get a Power Hacks, and guess what? He ends up getting a Power Hacks this turn, so yeah, this is absolutely insane. So I went for a Thunderbolt next turn because I know that from this range I can easily take it down, so there's a Mance down, and yeah, that's an epic sweep of Magneton. I just love this thing. So after that he decided to bring in his Crafty again. I went for a Thunderbolt. I'm faster, so it won't do that much, and his Crafty is probably specialty bulky, so he's able to go for this Drain Punch just for the super effective attack, not to mention stab, so it will do some decent damage. He's able to gain some HP back with this Drain Punch, so I decided to take a switch to my Azumarill, predicting that he will go for an offensive move again, fearing that I will take a switch to my other M just to taunt it. So it won't do that much to my Azumarill, so I decided to go for a superpower, not over predicting that much because it's a super effective move, and at this point I thought that it will one-hit kill this Crafty. But he decided to take a switch to Thunderous, which will take it because it resists superpower. So after that I decided to take a switch into Bones, knowing that probably superpower won't kill it because I'm right now at -1 attack. Not to mention the fact that he will probably outspeed and kill me with his stab T-Bolt. So I went for my Mandibuzz. I ends up getting a paralyzed thanks to his T-Wave, and after that he's able to pull off Thunderbolt, which will kill my bird. So after that, completely forgetting about this ability which let him go first with his non-attacking move, I decided to go for Aqua Jet just to kill off his Thunderous, but you know, my Azumarill ends up being paralyzed, which kind of sucks, but oh well, not that much. So after that he decided to bring in his Scrafty, and I decided to take a switch to Other End because I know that I can pretty much wall it all day. And he went for a Drain Punch, it do absolutely nothing, it gives him some free damage, but still he's now choice scarfed, so he just locked himself into Drain Punch, and that's kind of okay. So after that he decided to bring in his second last poke, which is Deoxys Speed Form, and this is like an epic battle of Deoxys right now, Deoxys versus Deoxys. So predicting his switch, I decided to go for a T-Wave just to paralyze incoming target, and it turns out that I caught this Deoxys Speed Form with paralyzed, so right now I can easily outspeed it, go for a taunt just to prevent him from setting up some entry hazards, and after that predicting that his only offensive moves will be some Ice Beams because that's like the standard set of the Speed Form. I take the switch into my Magnetov just to resist it, not to mention that I can go for a substitute right now for free, waiting for him to get a Power Hacks. Unfortunately for me it didn't work out that well. He's able to pull off an Ice Beam, which fortunately for me isn't powerful enough to take down my Magneton's substitute. So I go for a T-Bolt next turn, I'm faster so it won't do that much, and his Deoxys Speed Form ends up surviving that. Taunts wears off this turn and he can set up this Salt Rocks, but you know, it's kind of late for him to set up this entry hazard, so I just go for a T-Bolt, and my Magnetov is behind the substitute, so I'm not too afraid of anything. And after that all he has left is his Scrafty. He decided to lock himself into Drain Punch, I guess. I'm faster so it won't do that much, but still his Scrafty also won't gain that much HP of this Magneton substitute. So I decided next turn just for lulz go for Thunderbolt on my Magneton because I'm faster. I was hoping here to get a crit just to you know, finish this match in great style, but it didn't happen. He's able to pull off this Drain Punch, which will take down my Magneton, but I'm not too afraid because I still got on my wings this Azumarill, which you know got super effective superpower, which will probably one-hit kill this Scrafty. He's faster because I'm paralyzed, which is kind of ironic, and fortunate for me I didn't end up getting a Power Hack, so I'm able to finish off this Scrafty and finish off all this match. So I hope you guys like this battle. That is all what I'm gonna say for today. Thank you guys for watching, see you next time, goodbye!